I was so much more motivated when I was on testosterone. Testosterone is like a freaking happy drug. At least it was for me.
I don't know if it's a dopamine thing. I don't know scientifically what it is, but it's actually there, and some steroids will give it to you more than others, but my testosterone level was increased from what I was taking. So now I had more of, it wasn't aggressive, but it was a very aware. That's what I noticed by like the second and third week. It's very aware of what's going on around you. Things smell a little different, taste a little different. You hear something, you're like, you kind of react a little bit quicker.
I mean, being on testosterone, I was so much more energetic. I was more motivated to do things.
I've been on testosterone for like 4 days, so that's exciting. I started Saturday morning, putting gel on in the morning, and yeah, I just wanted to share like a little bit about how things feel so far. They feel good.
I'm not really sure what it is, but I do know you are heightened sense-wise after about the third week.
Just for example, when I worked at Walgreens, there was a couple of months, especially over the winter, where I had exclusively worked night shifts. I can't speak. And so I would get to work at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I would work until maybe about 11 p.m. at night, and then I would go afterwards straight to the gym, which was right next door to the Walgreens that I worked at, and I would work out for about 2.5, 3 hours, so I'd get home at anywhere between 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just kind of did that repeatedly. And it was in the winter time where my car broke down, so after, I would walk to work, or I'd jog, or whatever I was in the mood for, and then after work, I'd go to the gym, and then I'd jog all the way back home in the snow. Things like that now that I've been off of testosterone, I kind of recognize felt so much easier for me when I was on testosterone.
This is where I usually, or back then I would tend to get the Superman complex is what I call it. Superman complex is as you feel so powerful that you're improving so much, you feel almost like nothing in the world can stop you.
I've been thinking about changing hormones, going on testosterone for like 2 years, a long time. And I finally started doing it. It had been almost 7 years since I'd had testosterone in my body. I just feel kind of like confident and good about myself. Like I feel kind of like cute and attractive and stuff.
So the mentality starts to change. Is it a psychosis? No. Okay, I didn't feel a psychosis. Did I feel heightened and aware more? Yes. Was I more apt to jump at a fight? Absolutely.
It's hard to describe in words. I can't put it, but there's a high there, man, and it's a confidence. It's a natural. I'm okay. I got this. I don't know how to describe it. It's hard to put in words.
How I spoke to people was different when I was a guy too. I mean, when I was talking to other guys, it's kind of just, you say what you mean and you mean what you say, but, speaking with other women is very, very, very different. But there's a certain confidence that I had when I was on testosterone that has kind of dimmed down a little bit.
If you're, a go-getter, you're going to be that much more of a go-getter. And then it can take people who are dead, so to speak, socially speaking, who have very little testosterone, and it can resurrect them from the dead, so to speak, and bring them into a level of life where it can be a miracle drug, bro. But when you don't need it, like I did not need it, these are the harms. These are the effects. I got what's called gynecomastia, bro. You'll see, you can't see it here, but my nipples have a tissue that developed behind them, because my estrogen levels went way too high. This is a side effect. This is known side effect. The only way to fix it is surgery at this point. It's too far gone. I've had it for about 7 years now. And pretty much I have what are called boobs on a man.
It's not that I'm not confident now. It's just that there's just a little bit of a different level.
I'm feeling much more hopeful about, I guess, some of my life and what the next phases will be. Perhaps some renewed energy and enthusiasm.
I took a variety of different types. I started with what's called testosterone enanthate when I did injectables. So before I did injectables, I was doing over-the-counter meds that were supposedly legal, and then 9 months later, the FDA took them off the market because kids who were 16 in high school taking it were going bald. and they were having like serious issues because of this stuff being real. I mean, it was real stuff, and they were taking it playing football. So I was taking testosterone and Anthe, tried another cycle when I was doing tests, and then I was taking D-ball, Dianabol, which is an oral form.
But yeah, it's just things like that where I'll be just around, or I'll be thinking, oh, I need to do something, I need to make a video, oh, I need to go to the store, or maybe I should start working out, and things that if I had decided to do them a year ago when I was on testosterone, it would have been done by the end of the day, right? And this is probably just a me problem, but I find myself so freaking lazy now. Yeah, trying to get myself to do things, and also you just start to miss some of the effects of testosterone.
I was also feeling like a little quicker to anger a little bit the last couple weeks.
I would look at all the girls, of course, naturally, because my hormones are no joke. I think they're attractive. They think I'm attractive. In fact, you're so full of yourself that you don't need to hear them say they think you're attractive, because you know you are. I mean, bro, it's ridiculous. And you're over here checking these girls out, and you're not just doing that. There's something else that I guess you say isn't normal naturally, and here's where it gets crazy. You're in a combat zone. Everywhere you are, everything you do. I'm at this party. I'm looking around and I'm sizing up the guys. I'm looking at this guy and I'm one slap. I wouldn't even have to punch him. I could just slap him and he'd be knocked out. Okay, that guy right there, he might need an actual punch. I am shirtless at a house party, holding this girl in my arms, looking at her friends. We just went from the bathroom in the bedroom, doing all sorts of stuff, and these guys start fighting on the floor. I jump in the middle of it, and I rear naked choke one of them, and hey, shut up. I would look for that. I could go into Big Lots, Home Depot, Dollar Tree, the church. It didn't matter, bro. I was scoping. I was like...
For me, at least, it was a happy drug. I kind of also find myself missing the way that it made me feel sometimes.
This is where the mind games start. And I had a friend of mine who, before I started, said, when you're off, you're going to feel like shit. But just keep telling yourself, it's only 12 weeks. It's only 12 weeks, and then I'll be back on. So essentially, you were going through these highs and lows. Highs when you were on, lows when you were off. So it felt like the best feeling in the world. Stronger, more muscular, a little more swag. Senses were heightened. Everything was awesome until you start to come off. And everything reverses and goes the opposite direction. You had to mentally be prepared for what was going to happen if you came off.
You know, just some of the ways that it made me feel sometimes, I do kind of find myself missing. Because I will say, compared to being a woman, like if I had to compare them, I would say that testosterone kind of made everything dull in a good way compared to being like a woman. Because now when I am feeling like either happy or excited or angry or whatever range of emotion, you know, you feel normally as a woman, as a guy, it's there, but it's just not nearly these massive peaks and valleys, you know, it's just not as intense. And I thought that was so nice. Things weren't as big of a deal, or they didn't feel like as big of a deal when I was on testosterone. It's just kind of surprising me because I didn't really think that there would ever be a point in my life where I'd miss anything at all about being transgender.
My slang is editorial, explicit material, briefcase show, live and stereo flow, feel me.